So in this video we're going to take a look at using the binomial theorem to take a shortcut on a question like this. So it says find the coefficient of x for the expansion x plus 3 to the power of 5. I don't need to do the whole expansion out because that's not what they're asking me. They're just asking me to find the coefficient, meaning the number in front of the x when you do expand it out. And as I said, I don't need to do the whole thing out to be able to get that. So I'm going to show you. Remember our formula? It starts with the sum of, but this time I don't want to know the full expansion, so I'm not actually interested in the sum of. I'm interested in this part, the n choose r, the x to the n minus r, the y to the r. That's what I'm interested in. And what I'm particularly zoning in on is when I have my x in this case, so our x is x in this scenario, and our y is 3. When I put that x to the power of whatever it is, the n minus r, I need it to work out to be x on its own, which is to the power of 1. So I actually have all of the information to build this into this formula. So I'm going to start out with the n. Remember, the n is whatever you're putting it to the power of. So in this case it's 5, so that's going to be a 5 there. Nice and easy to fill in. I'm then going to leave that blank for a second while I fill in the rest. My x in the formula matches up with the x that I have here in the question. So I'm going to put my x here. It's to the power of n, which is going to be 5. Now, minus r. What do I have to take off 5 to be left with x to the power of 1? I have to take away 4, don't I? So if that's 4, that's in the place of the r. So where else does the r go? The r goes here. And the r will also go here. So I just keep filling it in. We said that the y in our question was actually 3, so I'm going to fill in 3. And then I'm going to have to the power of r, which we've actually figured out is 4. And that also goes here. So just take a look at the structure of the formula, where the different letters are, what they mean, what they relate to in this question, what they relate to in the formula, and have a think about it structurally, not just procedurally. If you look at the structure, you can start to see how I pieced it together. I needed to put x to the power of 5, take away something to get it to be 1. 5 take away what is 1? So 5 take away 4. So then I'm going to have in my calculator 5 choose 4. And if we put that into our calculator, 5 choose 4 is going to be 5. Then I'm going to have x to the 5 minus 4, which is just x to the 1. And then I'm going to have 3 to the power of 4, which is going to be 81. Then I'm going to multiply this out, and I'm going to have 5 by our 81, which is going to be 405 by x to the power of 1, which is just x. And that's it. I found the coefficient, the number in front of x. It's 405. And I didn't need to expand it all out. Didn't have to. I had to be clever. I had to think about how the formula works, what it means, what's the structure of it, how does the structure relate to the question that I have and the question that I want to answer. So take your time, think about it. Don't just do procedures, understand it. This next one then I've picked out because it's a little bit different. It looks really weird, it looks really challenging, but it's again not. So it says find the coefficient of x to the 8 y cubed for the expansion, and here we have it. Okay, so again, I'm going to start out by writing out the formula. I'm going to cheat and I'm going to copy and paste it from above so that I keep it consistent. So here we're going to cheat and we're going to use this. And we don't need to expand the whole thing out. It did not ask for the full expansion, it asked for one particular part. That's why I'm not using the sum of. I'm not starting at the beginning, I'm starting in the middle. So n is going to be what we're to the power of. So remember that, that's our n, our 5 over here. So I can fill that in. It's going to be 5 choose what? I don't know yet, but I am going to figure it out. What is my x in this scenario? Well, remember, this x and y come from the formula x plus y, so I've got x to the 4. So that's going to be in here. So not just x, but x to the power of 4. And then that's going to be to the power of n minus r. N is 5. Now, here's the catch. What does it have to be put to the power of so that when I execute my index laws, which is 5 minus something, that on top of x to the 4, that equals to x to the 8. Now, when I have a power raised to another power, the rule is we're going to multiply them. So I want to have 5 minus something, that done out, multiplied by 4 gives me 8. And 4 times 2 gives me 8. So I need to do 5 minus 3. If I do 5 minus 3, remember that minus 3 is now our r, and that's going to go there, and it's also going to be the number that I put up here. So then I'm going to do my y, which is actually minus y, so be careful, and I'm going to put my 3 up here because that's our r. And the 3 also can get filled in down here. Then I'm going to work this out. I'm going to have 5 choose 3. So 5 choose 3 is going to be 10. Then I'm going to have x to the 4. I can just leave that as x to the 4 for a minute. 5 minus 3 is going to be 2. Then remember, if it's a negative and it's raised to the power of an odd number, it's going to be negative. So it's minus y cubed. Let's tidy this out even more. I'm going to have 10. X to the 4 to the 2, multiply them. We get x to the 8 multiplied by minus y cubed. Multiply all of that out and you're left with minus 10 x to the 8 y cubed. So our coefficient, the number in front of, that is going to be minus 10. So again, it's all about the structure and following what fits where. What can I say that I know for sure? And start filling in the blanks. Don't get overwhelmed with the x to the 8y to the 3. Just write down your formula, what you can fill into the formula. Like you can immediately fill in that 5. That's not going to change. That 5 goes in there. You can fill in your x to the 4 and your minus y. That's not going to change. And the rest is just applying your index laws, which you got in junior cert maths. So just take your time with it. Don't get overwhelmed. Step by step. Start with your formula. Fill in what you know.